Hello guys and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me Vulcan. Today I have for you game 1 out of 2 games between AmberT and Jagdsauce in round 1 of the second European tournament. Today we are going to be seeing Carpiquet, and on the allied side AmberT is using the 7th Armoured, and on the Axis side Jagdsauce has the 12th SS-Panzer. So this is an interesting matchup because of this map. On the side of the 12th SS, you do of course have the Boy to Firefly, and that is something that can certainly dominate the 1,200 meter range in the early game, and something that Jagdsauce will most certainly make use of. You can see that he has already placed down the unit. On the side of AmberT, 7th Armoured, of course, very well known for their Stuart recons and their high veterancy and how good they can be at the shorter range. And if AmberT can find those closer range engagements, then that's something that he can try and exploit. But with the Firefly controlling this airfield for the majority of the game until probably phase C, Jagdsauce has quite a lot of room to work with up there and can definitely make quite a bit of ground. On the bottom side, Jagdsauce really can't contest the town too much because his infantry, his Panzer Grenadiers, are not really going to hold up very well against desert rats, for example. So over-investing into the town might be a bad thing for Jagdsauce, but we'll see exactly where he is allocating his units as we dive in and look at his deployment. So on the top side here, Jagdsauce has got a Panzer Grenadier that's going to be going to those hangars. Following that up is a Spähtroop. Further down we see the Boy to Firefly I already pointed out with the command. We need 2 more units of Panzer Grenadiers and a Pak 38, which are going to be heading towards the bottom side of the airfield. Jagdsauce is going to be heading into the town with just a Spähtroop and the Panzer Grenadier with the half track there. I kind of like this from Jagdsauce, but it is really risky to try and feint against such a good player like AmberT. On the bottom side for AmberT, it is 2 of the Stuart 5s. It's going to be 2 units of Desert Rats zooming ahead. You've got a motorized rifle heading into the bottom side of the airfield. Following up those Desert Rats is a unit of motorized rifles, and then 2 commands with the Stuart Remies. And these Stuart Remies, they have the 2-star veterancy. That 50 cal can rip things apart. Desert Rats for the top side for AmberT. I really like that choice actually, because it means he can have those on return fire until an enemy unit gets close and then just open them up, and that should allow him to do a lot of damage. Boy to Firefly is heading down to the bottom side of this airfield. Pak 38 1-shots a half track. That's a pretty nice start. Spähtroop have come up against the Desert Rats, but that is devastating there. The Stuart 5 takes out a unit of Panzer Grenadiers before they unload, and these Panzer Grenadiers, they ain't cheap. 35 points apiece. That's not something that Jagdsauce would have wanted to see in the early game. 12th SS really struggles with their economy, so losing that early on is not helpful at all. So losing these Panzer Grenadiers would be a bad idea, so backing them off is very smart. Boy to Firefly though, that's going to be coming down this road and looking for an engagement onto the Stuart 5. If it can find the kill, that would be absolutely fantastic, and a lovely long range kill there for the Boy to Firefly. Cleans up one of the Stuart 5s already. Now needs to look for the kill onto the second. Panzer Grenadiers, they're going to have to continuously retreat on this bottom side, but as long as they are delaying AmberT, then that is a good move from Jagdsauce. Looks like there they automatically jump back into the building. That's something you do have to be careful of if you have the auto cover turned on. On the bottom side, more Panzer Grenadiers are coming in. I'm a little bit concerned that Jagdsauce is getting dragged into this engagement. He can see exactly how much AmberT has here, but I feel like it's unfortunate that he's not pushing his advantage in the open up here. Like, all that would be needed, I think, would just be like the Boy to Fire, or Boy to Cromwell even. And if the Boy to Firefly is needed, it can drive back up and help out, especially considering there is this Stag Hound now moving up to that top side. But this Firefly against the Stuart 5 at close range will have to be careful, and AmberT is going to be able to get through this maze quite easily. and find that close range engagement if Jagdsauce is not too careful. And if the Boy to Firefly goes down, then that's pretty much curtains in the early game for Jagdsauce, and something that will be very hard to come back from because there's so many points invested in this at the start. It's a solid 200 points at the end of the day, and although many people would deem the Firefly to be a very good vehicle, which it is, you can't underestimate how good these Stuart 5s are at close range. I think the Boy to Firefly here might try and take that Stuart 5 out if it can. It does kill off the Stuart Remy. Mosquito Recon is coming in. Interesting build of the division there to have a Mosquito on. This is the really cool looking black Mosquito that basically is a night recon. But the Boy to Firefly misses that shot, takes a shot itself, drive a wound. Interesting engagement for sure. Can it find the second shot? No, it cannot. Stuart 5 is going to find a third before the Firefly finds its third. Can it get it in time? It can't. Nice micro there by AmberT, getting the Stuart 5 out of harm's way. Surely that would have been a kill, because that Boy to Firefly had already missed twice, and if you're allowed to stay on target to the same target over time, you do get more accurate. That is actually a thing that is programmed into the game. So I think AmberT disengaging there was a smart idea and manages to get away with that, keep the Stuart 5 alive. But a stag hound is coming in, and that's going to be looking for the ambush onto the Boy to Firefly. But the Pack 38 here is opening up. It's 2-star veterancy. Can it find the kill? No, it can't. Staghound gets off the main road, survives 2 shots from a Pack 38 with 2-star veterancy. I can't help but feel that Staghound was just a little bit lucky there to get away with that. Some more infantry coming into this bottom side. I'm still concerned that Jagdsauce is getting pulled in to an engagement in the town that he really doesn't need. Probably better off like saving the points that he's getting to get a Boy to Cromwell and start making some ground up on the top side. This Boy to Firefly does find the shot onto the Staghound. Staghound's just going to move out of line of sight. You can see AmberT probably looking at this line of sight tool just like I am, and seeing every way in which he can move his vehicles to take advantage of the line of sight against Jagdsauce. Smart move there by the Desert Rats to utilise the smoke to stop the Panzer II from hitting the Staghound anymore. Last thing he needs is that Panzer II to take out the Staghound, because it removes the pressure from the Boy to Firefly. Stuart 5 takes a cheeky shot at the Boy to Firefly, trying to find that side shot. Jagdsauce here turning off. Actually, it was AmberT turning off all of the other weapons so that he is exclusively using the main gun to engage the Boy to Firefly. And that, well, that's an internal fragment. So he no longer has to worry about the Boy to Firefly, but he can't chase after it because there is this Pack 38 here covering that road should it get aggressive. So Jagdsauce in trouble with his Boy to Firefly out of action. He is going to be forced to bring in a Opel Blitz munition to resupply that, but I want to see that come behind this tree line. That would be ideal. Have the Boy to Firefly continue back, because the last thing that Jagdsauce needs right now is his Opel Blitz munition to come forwards and just get hit by the Stuart 5 and blow up. That could also potentially blow up the Firefly if it's close enough. Panzer Grenadiers, they're going to get absolutely ripped to shreds as AmberT does turn back on the machine guns of his Stuart 5. Desert Rats getting up into those buildings as well. Stuart Remy going to be trying to clean up the Panzer Grenadiers on the bottom side, and well, things not really going to get any better, I don't feel, for Jagdsauce's infantry. Any engagement where there's 50 cows involved on the side of the 7th Armoured is not going to go in favour of Jagdsauce, and well, the 50 cow of the Stuart 5 even takes out the half-track there. So now we see a push of 259s. This isn't something that I've seen in a very long time, but could be actually very strong at close range. You can see the Panzer II there, with actually, I think there was a Pack 38, did take out the Staghound. But yeah, these Panzer IVs and the 259s with these 4 AP can definitely do a lot of damage. We'll have to be careful that they don't get caught out by the Desert Rats though. They do of course have the Gammon bombs that they can throw at 100 meters, which is pretty impressive if you ask me, but still, 100 meters of AT that Jagdsauce is going to have to worry about. Staghound, though, is going to get aggressive here. Will aim first. Aim time of the Staghound so damn quick. And the 259 going to be forced to fall back. Now, the Staghound, if it came out to play, would get hit by the Boy to Firefly. So AmberT's got to be a little bit careful about how he takes this engagement. And the Firefly is going to get a shot off, does not find the kill. But meanwhile, on the bottom side, the Panzer Grenadiers are getting chewed up. Speed through it, move back into the tree line. They're going to get killed off. That was, again, Jagdsauce falling prey to the auto cover. AmberT on the airfield, he's now taking a beating. Panzer Grenadiers open up with the help of the 259. That's going to do quite a bit of damage. But Jagdsauce is going to be a little bit careful that he doesn't use up too much of his 20 mil ammunition if he wants to try and take on more of the units of AmberT at close range. Because it can get to a point with these 20 mil autocannon units that they do like just straight up run out of ammunition, and then they become pretty useless as just machine gun trucks. So an AT gun now going to be coming into this bottom side. Pak 38 is going to be required to stop this Stuart 5 in its tracks, and I do like the investment into AT guns. They are pretty awkward for AmberT to get rid of unless he invests into a static mortar in the early game. So that's one weakness that you can try and exploit, and that's why this Pak 38 has survived for so long, even though AmberT is pretty much known where it has been from the start of the game. But one thing I'm still surprised about is the fact that there isn't more aggression from Jagdsauce on the top here. Yes, that Firefly probably needs to be here, but at the end of the day, you can just create this sort of defense outside the town, and it doesn't lose you too much ground. And then you can take full advantage of the ground on the top side, which in the early to mid game, AmberT can quite simply not contest. And with the Firefly heading this way, these Staghounds will be in trouble. But on this bottom side, another unit of Panzer Grenadiers going to go down before they unload. That is unfortunate. Stuart 5 did take out the Opel Blitz because it was left in the open here. I think Jagdsauce placed it here thinking that the hangar would provide cover, but due to AmberT's push on the very bottom side, did find line of sight and killed off that supply, which is, yeah, pretty damn unfortunate. Motorized rifles, though, they're losing against 2 units of Panzer Grenadiers, and outnumbering the motorized rifles is actually really nice. This autocar, what did that get hit by? It seemed like the shot came from the bottom side, but must have been this Pak 38, I would assume. Mosquito coming in once again. We'll see that the Boy to Firefly is on its way to the airfield, and the Staghounds are probably going to have to go and hide because they do not want to be engaged at max range by that Boy to Firefly. We've now moved into Phase B. Panzer IV moving in towards this town. Definitely good enough with the 2-star veterancy to engage the autocar and the Stuart 5 at max range. It does have enough front armor to just bounce the Stuart 5, which is really nice, but AmberT can see this coming and is bringing an AT gun along with him, and that will help him take on any enemy armor that he comes across. So Jagdsauce is going to have to watch out for that, especially since AmberT has found himself in quite a favourable position in this town. Reinforcing the edge with AT guns is something that he can definitely take advantage of. Boy to Firefly is now starting to make this push across the airfield. Staghound running for the hangar. Just going to try and break the line of sight there, but still try and be a threat. This Boy to Firefly needs to be supported by a Cromwell, though, or something that can do damage to infantry, because otherwise these motorized rifles are going to continue to control the front line for the foreseeable future. The Boy to Firefly now managing to get one shot off. We'll probably have time for a second. Whether or not it hits the mark, though, due to its lack of veterancy, remains to be seen, but there you go. Critical ammo explosion, and the Staghound is dealt with. But in the meantime, Staghound does move forwards, takes out the last of the 259s. Panzer Grenadiers also go down to the motorized rifles. At the 100-meter range, motorized rifles do always defeat Panzer Grenadiers due to 8 HE versus 5 HE. More Panzer Grenadiers now coming in for Jagdsauce, but this is where Jagdsauce just needs to start going defensive down here. just put these into the hangars and just let AmberT try and push out of this town whilst continuing to make ground on the airfield. That would be the ideal play here for Jagdsauce. And I like the introduction of the 258 to support the Pointer Firefly. That's what I was talking about when I said he needed something to take care of enemy infantry. And this is a nice engagement range here for the Panzer Grenadiers, but as soon as the M5 half-track and the Staghound come around the corner, that's going to be difficult for Jagdsauce to deal with. Me109 G6R6 though, going to be coming in with the strafing run, looking to try and prevent those vehicles from making the difference in that engagement. These Panzer Grenadiers in the hangar, they are coming under fire from the machine gun of the M5 half-track and the Staghound. Do manage to pin down the motorised rifles, but a smart idea to move those back and sort of stop that engagement due to, over time, the Panzer Grenadiers losing out. Oh, so these are actually Pioneers. That definitely makes the play that you want to do with these Pioneers quite different, because at 100 meter range they do have access to the HE grenades. Yes, you can use them in a defensive manner if you keep them on return fire, but that isn't something that Jagdsauce is seeming to utilise here, and meanwhile that 6-pounder that AmberT brought in is paying itself off with a track wheel destroy onto the Panzer IV, which is going to give it all day long to take it out, and eventually it goes down. So that Panzer IV goes down without a fight, and that is unfortunate, but this Firefly is still controlling the airfield. We'll be able to put some pressure onto these vehicles on the bottom side of the airfield. But AmberT has found a way now to answer these Pak-38s that are containing him within this town. And if he can get rid of those AT guns, then his Stuart 5, his Cromwell 4 here, and the auto cars can start getting pretty aggressive. Jagdsauce is now moving his Pointer Firefly back. The 258 should be able to push this on its own with the help of the recon, so that is actually an okay move. This Firefly will definitely be needed when this Pak-38 goes down. Mosquito has come in. That's going to be trying to find and give information on any of the remaining Pak-38s. Me109 G6R6. Going to try and engage the Mosquito. This Mosquito is very fast though, 650 km per hour versus the 550 km per hour, so it might outrun the Me109, and that it does as it tries to fall back, but turns in, comes into range. Me109 shoots it down, and that is a nice kill for Jagdsauce to pick up. However, as we can see, off-map has done its job. The Pak-38 is going to be killed off, and the Panzer II is retreating, the 259 is retreating. Pointer Firefly going to have to get in position here to stop this breakout. Because that's pretty much what it is right now. It's AmberT trying to break out, and you can see how it's just turning into this bubble right now that eventually is going to explode out towards Jagdsauce's direction. Like, there is so many units here, they're building up nicely, and it's going to get to a point where a combined push from AmberT is going to be very, very strong indeed. If we get into Phase C, then we might see AmberT save up for the Fireflies, bring in a couple, and just push really hard out and seal the game that way. But I feel like where Jagdsauce has gone wrong is he's been kind of enticed into an engagement with AmberT in the town and lost a lot of those Panzer Grenadiers very easily to AmberT, and that's something that hasn't quite paid off, and therefore he's had to bring down other units to help out, and therefore it's just compounded into a bigger and bigger problem, leaving him with no resources left to make ground himself, and that's basically the story of the game so far. The other thing about the 12th SS is that their economy doesn't help that either. So currently the 7th has had way more points on the field than the 12th SS, and that disparity is just becoming greater when AmberT is most likely hitting a 2-to-1 KD right now. Nice recon though from Jagdsauce. Spadetroop on the airfield doing well. These two Spadetroop will spot any movement coming out of the town. Panzerwerfer though, that's going to be struggling to find targets, as I'm pretty sure Jagdsauce will still be relatively blind. Can see the 6-pounder and also the Bofors Portee. That would be a good target for the Panzerwerfer there. Those both of portees can be really, really annoying. So getting rid of a couple of those and utilizing some aircraft may be a shout. However, 12th SS, limited air force. So it's really dependent on what kind of aircraft that Jagdsauce actually has on his division. New off map coming down though. Cromwell Fort still utilizing that. And as it sits, with AmberT at a +1 and 61% territory lead, he is comfortable in this position and will happily wait until Phase C, where his Fireflies can really come alive, challenge the boy to Firefly, and make this game a hell of a lot easier. Because at the moment, all of the vehicles that AmberT has on the field just aren't really suited to push out of the town. That's why they're having to stay in cover. So there we go, Panzerwerfer going for the kill onto the Bofors portee. If you can get a direct hit, that will most certainly be a kill. But unfortunately for Jagdsauce, it looks like he is not going to get it this time around, which really sucks. And the Bofors portee, they don't have any armor, so that's what makes them so vulnerable to HE damage. However, it does fall back into the flames and dies anyway, so I guess the Panzerwerfer did the job. Now that Panzerwerfer needs reloading though, and since the supply from earlier did get killed, he's going to have to buy in another one if he wants to reactivate that Panzerwerfer, and that's a costly 50 points that I don't think he can really afford if he wants to try and come back in this game. Now, Whitman is on the field, and Whitman can do a lot of damage against all the units that AmberT currently has. But I think as soon as a 3-star Firefly arrives, Whitman is in trouble. So I think Jagdsauce needs to be very careful here with what he's trying to do. Whitman is a recipe for disaster sometimes. People rely on him way too much. But I guess if the boy to Cromwell came in at this point, it would give him a basis to harass a lot of the units on the edge of the town here. But you can see how passive AmberT is being. He literally has no orders, like 0 orders on any of his men. But as we move into Phase C, here comes the Firefly train. Exactly what I expected. It's quite common for people to save points in Phase B due to having 135 points per minute and then investing into multiple Fireflies at the start of the phase. So the reinforcements are arriving, and this is going to be really, really scary for Jagdsauce to deal with. Alongside that, this half-track is bringing in a 17-pounder. That is very, very scary indeed. Because I don't think, no matter what unit Jagdsauce brings in at this point, a 17-pounder is gonna do the damage. Like the Panther Gs, for example, that Jagdsauce may be able to afford now, won't be able to stand up against the 17-pounder. And aside from that, even though Jagdsauce has all of these pioneers, I'm not sure he's going to be able to make too much ground into the town. We'll have to wait and see. If he supports them properly, like he has currently with Whitman and the Firefly, then he might be able to do something. But at the end of the day, this is only one unit with HE that can engage at 1,200 meter range. This Firefly can't do anything really to help these pioneers against infantry, especially at long range. It can take out the Autocar M3, for example, same with Whitman, but can't provide that HE cover that is so damn important if you want to charge infantry towards a town. Because the idea being, you want to pin down enemy infantry so that your own infantry can move forwards and engage freely without taking too much damage. Now it has gone down to 58%, but due to the score being so far in AmberT's favour, Jagdsauce has a long way to go. And this 17-pounder has arrived on this bottom side. These Fireflies are all moving down to the bottom side as well. They were originally going to push through the mid, But I think AmberT is more confident with his bottom side play, especially if the 17-pounder is successful in killing Whitman. So Pioneers now trying to push on back. Jagdsauce obviously realizing that he is running out of time, is going to have to get relatively aggressive. But it looks like here the spear troop spotted the 17-pounder and Whitman's just going to be backing off. Nice kill for the Pak-38. Takes out the Autocar M3. Can it find the kill onto the half-track as well? No, it cannot. But the Verflammen's going to clean up the 17-pounder. Very, very nice. Also kills the 6-pounder and the command. That is a beautiful strike from the Verflammen. But is it enough? That is the question. And honestly, I think the answer is no. There's 3 Fireflies here. Not sure if Jagdsauce knows it yet, but they are going to be breathing down his neck very, very shortly. Off map, going to be hitting the Pak-38. Meanwhile, these Pioneers now engaging the Desert Rats at range. Desert Rats really can't do too much with their Bren guns. But this off map, pretty nice. That's coming from the Cromwell 4 here. If it cleans up the Pak-38, that allows the aggression from these Fireflies onto the opposing armor of Jagdsauce. That's what we're about to see. Panther has been brought in. That can support the engagement moving forwards, but unfortunately it's just too late. You got +2 on the clock for AmberT, 2,150 points in his pocket, 2 minutes and 55 seconds left, and AmberT is victorious. And let's see how these triple Fireflies do. They're advancing now through this orchard. They're going to be going up against Whitman here. And Whitman is just about to come into line of sight of one of the 3-star Fireflies. The second one coming into range as well. Shooter knocked out with the first hit. Spalling shooter wounded. That shooter is certainly taking a beating. Firefly is going to continue forwards. Continue that engagement in theory. Currently being blocked by the line of sight, but the weapon jam there is pretty nice. But the Boyder Firefly goes down, and so does the Panzer II. Whitman looks like he's going to escape. Nice hit there from the Panzerwerfer. Stops the advance of these vehicles for the time being. Jagdpanzer has come on to the field. 2-star Jagdpanzer finds the weapon damage and driver knockout. It's got side armor facing. Can he find the kill? Yes, he can. Nice job there by Jagdsauce to take out one of those towards the end. But the point's still going in favour of AmberT, and trying to break out of this town has been costly so far. But Jagdsauce did not make ground elsewhere on the map, so therefore does not have to worry too much after all. Now the Verflammen firing away, doing even more damage. Some of these artillery strikes have been absolutely pivotal, but not quite enough in order to swing this back in favour of Jagdsauce. And now this push is coming through. Panther supporting the Pioneers, but off-map going to be hitting that quite hard. Another bailout there. Oh, looks like Jagdsauce is doing great against these Fireflies, which is exactly what he would need to do if this game was carrying on for more than a minute, which it doesn't look like it is going to. 40 seconds left now for AmberT. All he's got to do is hold on to the 58% territory, and he will find himself victory. Because it seems as though Jagdsauce has activated his full phase C power, and it's really coming to fruition now. Panther, though, engaged by the 17-pounder. That is a scary engagement, and internal fragments for the Panther is going to force it back and remove that support from the infantry that is continuing its advance. But now 20 seconds left. And can Jagdsauce make the difference? No, he can't. He brings it back to a +1 only for AmberT. but that's still 10 seconds. He only gained himself about 10 odd seconds there. That was crazy. And AmberT is going to win the game. Oh, some of those Firefly engagements were very nice for Jagdsauce at the end. Artillery strikes on point during this game. But I feel like the allocation of units to the town in the early game really hurt Jagdsauce's chances of winning this game. Controlling that airfield is so damn vital, and having the Firefly up there and stopping those initial staghounds from getting into those positions in the first place is exactly what you want to do. The other great thing about having the Firefly up there, even assisted by the Boy to Cromwell, is that you can just have your Panzergrenadiers run across the open. Like that combination, 1200 meter range HE, 1200 meter range AP, covering your Panzer Grenadiers, there's nothing the opponent can do about that. And so you can capture the hangars very easily, because if they have infantry in them, you decimate them. And that's just checkmate on the top side, at least. And you just have to concede that on the bottom side and then just keep that contained, like Jagdsauce was doing, but obviously hadn't made that move on the top side, so there wasn't there to there wasn't that there to cancel out the moves that AmberT was making. So after 27 minutes and 54 seconds, AmberT is victorious. In the end, Jagdsauce got a better KD, 1,755 kills to 1,310 losses. As AmberT tried to make more ground, he was just losing more and more units, and like I said, containment was very good from Jagdsauce. He had plenty of kills in the late game onto those Fireflies, and it was very, very disgusting to watch. Well, it was actually very impressive to watch, honestly. Whitman and the Jagdpanzer working together nicely. Also, not falling prey to the 17-pounder due to the spear through was perfect. So yeah, late game play was good, but it just wasn't enough. Stuart 5s in the early game, they did their job. They drew Jagdsauce into the town, and there wasn't really much the Firefly could do about it. The Firefly did one-pop one of the Stuart 5s, but that is it. Then the Cromwell 4 came in, that cleaned up one of the 259s. The artillery was really good to prevent some of the, or to sort of get rid of some of the infantry. But all of the points and positioning really came from the early game, and you can see that on the side of AmberT's kills. But when it comes to the losses, and we look at Jagdsauce's kills, like Jagdsauce's kills all came in the late game. So although he had a great kill death with some fantastic artillery strikes, it just really didn't do too much. And in the early game, yeah, the only significant kill was the Stuart. And that is it. So, an interesting game for sure. I think Jagdsauce just didn't prioritise that airfield enough. And we'll have to see if Jagdsauce can bring it back in the second game against AmberT. Two very good players going up against each other. I think we're in for another good game. I really enjoyed this one. Hopefully you guys did too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.